Welcome to today's episode, where we will dive into Azure cost management and budgeting. So let's get started. Managing cloud cost is a big deal for almost every organization. Nobody wants unexpected bills, right? So let's break down how Azure helps you to stay on top of your spending limits and keep things efficient. With things, I'm talking about your resources. Now, managing and monitoring cloud costs will require cost analysis. Well, Azure gives you built-in tools to track your spending, whether by resource, department, or by subscriptions. So you can filter your resources by all these categories. Even tags can be used. Now, with all this filtration, you can actually drill down into the details and see where your money is going. Then there is budgeting. Well, you can set a budget limit, and Azure will alert you if you are getting close to your budget. Or Azure can also predict your spending. So no more surprises at the end of the month. Well, budgeting can be done on monthly basis, quarterly, or even yearly. It all depends on your organization's demand or scenario. Cost allocation is another important piece. By using tags and resource groups, you can track spending for a specific item, project, or department. It makes life easier when you need to justify cost, specifically for your administrator when he have to give some answers to your officials. And with this, the officials can make informed decision. They can also change the budget. So remember, everything is flexible. You can customize it according to your business requirement or future expansion. And let's not forget cost optimization, which will happen in the future. And it is actually a continuous process. Here, Azure gives you recommendations on where you can save some money, like shutting down unused virtual machine or think about resizing your resources. Finally, reports and forecasting, which helps you and your officials predict future spending trends based on past usage. This means you can plan ahead and avoid overspending. Remember, this is just prediction, so you will never get an exact amount. Now, keeping costs under control, uh, you actually have to use the combination of all these tools. So how we prevent overcharges and we stay compliant as per the industry needs and requirement or as per the SLA? Well, set your spending limits then. Azure lets you create budgets and alerts, which we discussed already, so you get notified before things go overboard. The another thing you can do is set restrictions by using Azure policies. You can actually enforce rules like limiting VM sizes so that no one can actually increase the size too much or choose an expensive resource. Or you can also restrict deployment to a specific region. If the region is expensive or not in compliance, just restrict it. So teams cannot even accidentally create the resources and burn through your budget. And then you have to monitor and optimize regularly. It's an ongoing process. Here, you or your other colleagues at the same privilege level keep an eye on those cost reports and tweak the resources as needed. Plus, for good or effective filtration, tag your resources. Well, you should organize your spending by tagging resources based on teams or departments or projects. Well, you can also automate some of the cost control functionality, like set up automation to scale down or shut off unused resources. You can also use virtual machine skill set, VMSS, if you remember it. With that, you can get a sweet balance between performance and cost saving. So you're not paying for what you don't need, right? Now let's go to the lab and check out some of these techniques. I will see you in the lab. All right, now let's look at cost management. So you can search for it, cost management on Azure portal. And this is where you actually create budgets, alert, you can create reports, and overall you can see how you are actually spending on your organization. Like what are the trends? So basically this is the dashboard. If you click on reporting and analysis, here you can analyze your cost. For example, I'll click on resource group in this month. So I spent this much money in these resource group, and what were the resources, and how much money the resource actually used or the service used. Everything will be there. And you can also download this report, by the way. If you want to create a set frequency of exports, you can also export data like regularly. The next is monitoring. Here you can actually set alert rules, you can set cost alert, and you can also put a budget on it. This will be your hard cap. Then you have optimization. If you go on advisor, here Azure will try to give you some advice according to your resource usage. Azure might tell you that, hey, your machines are running but nobody's using it, so maybe set up a auto shutdown schedule or something like that to save money. Then you have reservations. You can also reserve resources. For example, virtual machine. You can reserve some sizes of a virtual machine to get a discount. Then you have your saving plans, and mostly these are the options. Rest is the settings to change the configuration of your alert rules, budgets, or whatever you want to configure. And over here is your billing profile. So let's say I selected my scope, that is my own subscription. I don't have any, I'm not using a billing account. If I have a billing account, I will see what are the charges. Then you can also see your invoices, but you need to have the right privilege. And your payment method, whether it is actually a credit card which you attached and you want to change it, you have to come here. Why I'm not able to see it? Because I'm not the billing administrator. If I was the billing administrator, I will be able to see it. So that's your cost management dashboard. Let's check out how to create a budget as well. So to create a budget, you have to go to cost management. You can also search for it directly, but you should be able to find it here. So if you go to monitoring and then click on budgets, here you can add one. So I click on it. Scope will be test RG because I have this resource group already working. I should also be able to change the scope. Okay, so I'm selecting the whole subscription as well. You can also change it to other subscription if you have one. Let's add it. So now my budget is not on a resource group, it is on the whole subscription. So changing the scope is important. It depends on your scenarios. We'll call it a demo budget. Reset period will be monthly. So this budget will be set monthly. You can also do it quarterly or annually. I'm going with the default one. Amount, let's say 100. So every month the budget, the hard cap will be 100. And after 1 month, this will be reset to 100 again. Here, Azure will also show you the trends. Next, if you create a budget, it's advised to actually create an alert as well. So why not? Let's create an alert on actual expenditure. So once you reach, let's say 90% of your budget, that is $90 out of 100, Then give me an alert. I don't have an action group, so I can create an action group. So action group is simple. This is where you define that what will be the action. You have to put the email, maybe phone number of someone, and Azure will make sure to send them a call or SMS. So I'm going to create just a simple demo action group. And here you define the notification type. So do you want to receive email, SMS, push, voice? I'll just simply say, send me an email. So over here, you just put your email, or I will just get a random number because I'm not gonna push it through. So let's say that's the number, and just click on OK. I think 10 digits, right? They want a valid number. Okay. Again, I used a random number, but I used a code 548 for some place. All right, click OK. So this will be my test phone number. Next, do you also want to take some actions? This is not a compulsion, but you can actually take an action. You can run an automation, or you can also raise a ticket or something like that. I don't want that, so I will just create a simple notification. So action group is now created. All right. Now for the email. Again, I will just use a random email. Okay. And you just go ahead and you just create this budget. Now there will be a hard cap on this subscription that is $100. You cannot you cannot actually spend more than 100. That is actually a hard cap. But once you reach 80% or 90% of this, an alert will also be triggered. And if you want to delete this, it's simple. You just go there, click on your budget, and you can delete it. And everything is gone. So that's how you just define your budgets. Again, very simple to do, but can be very important for an organization who want to keep control on their expenses. Welcome back. I hope now you know how easy it is to actually start creating a structure where you can save some money. But remember, the overall architecture can get complex if you're talking about a big enterprise. So cost saving is all about saving money and also balancing performance. You cannot sacrifice performance for that. So that was uh, that was your episode. Let's have a quick look at what we covered in this episode. So by monitoring spending or setting up budgets and also optimizing resources to give you a balance between performance and cost saving, you can keep cost under the limits, or you can also stay compliant by using policies. If you found this helpful, don't forget to actually like and subscribe to even more courses on NetSoft IT Academy. We do offer courses on multiple technologies, such as artificial intelligence. We do offer courses on networking, cloud concepts, whether it is Google, AWS, or even Azure. We also do offer courses on some old on-prem technologies. So I will see you in the next episode. Take care.